People, deluded, I'm back again. Arsenal 2, Manchester United 0. Fantastic result. Pace, tenacity, desire, every positive connotation you could potentially think of in relation to what you would want to see in this context as an Arsenal fan was displayed. Potentially rode our luck a few times in the second half as we ran out of gas, but other than that, created a lot. Again, similar to the Chelsea game, as we were improving, probably the quality of chances we're creating and taking and not taking needs to change. But we was dominant in possession. There was intent for the man in possession. There was movement. There was rigid defending. There were people, in a positive way, people were defending like a relegation threat inside. People were defending like their life is on the line, and that's what you want to see. Could not ask for more really from any professional that played for Arsenal today that started, especially resolute defending, ideas and whatnot in terms of attack, people putting in a shift. Like I said, man, just pride in the shirt, just pride in their own selves again and the performance. And I could not ask anyone anything anymore. I couldn't have asked anything of anybody in this game. I couldn't have asked any more of anybody. But in relation to that, we might as well review the player ratings. And excuse my poor handwriting as usual. Before I carry on, I think like the only things I really saw, not negatives, but things we could have thought about is, did look like there was a lot of space in the first half on the counter for United to a degree. Daniel James gave us something to think about in the 4th minute when he got in a foot race. Second half, potentially, as we get tired, we've got to learn to manage the game and still have something in the game, because like I said, we was holding on, and I'm sure you all saw that. But other than that, quality performance. Gonna give Leno an 8. Listen, clean sheet. Leno, for once, he gets a clean sheet. There's been games where we've played poor, but he's personally deserved the clean sheet, and he hasn't got it. He doesn't get many of these things. He's got, obviously, you see the shots faced and the lack of clean sheets Arsenal have, and all the negative statistics defensively. Arsenal score quite high, so he doesn't get too many of these. And this is like goals to a striker. This will hurt at you if you're not getting these. And it's not exactly the same as a striker, because you can kind of seize your own destiny and score your own goals. You can't really do anything as a keeper. Obviously, he does make some mistakes from time to time. He's made 7 since the start of last season. But more often than not, he's a reliable keeper. And I think he was that today, people. So I'm going to give him an 8. I'm going to give Maitland now I was torn between a 6 and a 7. I'm going to give a 7 because I believe it was a good performance. I felt he did his thing at right back. I mean, what did Rashford do down the left-hand side? Really and truly, he did nothing. I was thinking, what was it going to be for Maitland now? Because there was a couple sloppy passes. I was thinking, Maitland, he's one of them. He's got to get going very early on. I was thinking, you know I love you, my guy, but you need to wake up, man. I don't want it to be these games where it's a straight pass and they score and all of these things. But he was solid, man. He did his thing. Nobody troubled him down his hand side. He got forward when he can. And I don't know if he's going to really accept that his position doesn't lie on the flanks beyond being a fullback. If he centre midfield is obviously his by trade, but he does look like he's been putting in a shift and doing his homework in his last few games at right back. He looks like he's playing with more confidence, not like doing skills confidence, but he's, he believes he can defend. He's not getting scared and he's not really phased in 1v1 situations. And there weren't too many of them for him to face this game in particular. But I think he deserves a 7. The 2 centre-halves, I don't believe either is good enough long-term, but we've got to judge them on what they faced. Luiz had a great game against his former employers Chelsea in our defeat last game out. Against United, superb. Ball playing, smart fouls, like talking people through the game, galvanising the fans and whatnot. Just every defensive aspect of the game, he deserved it. I think he was a big part in relation to our win. I feel everybody was quality today, so there's not really, in a positive way, there's not really a man of the match like that. But if I had to look at one, I'm potentially saying Sead Kolasinac for his contribution prior to his substitution. Maybe David Luiz as well. Outside contenders, Mesut Ozil, I think Torreira, I feel Xhaka again. Yeah, man, why couldn't Xhaka show this sort of quality from the minute he came into Arsenal Football Club, really and truly? But everybody was superb. But I feel like if you had to pick a man of the match, Luiz would be one of them. So I'm giving him a 10. I feel Sokratis, another one who I believe, beyond being a squad player, can't contribute long-term going forward to us being a competitive side. But if he plays like today, he can. Lovely. Even, listen, he was defending like his life depends on it. He was defending like he's going to lose his house and everything is going to happen. And that's what you want to see from our defenders. Body on the line, blocking things, reading situations early. His goal, forget his goal because it's a bonus, but for me it's just a bonus because before all of that, I think he was quality, people. So Sokratis and David Luiz 10s really and truly. Kolasinac has to get a 10 as well, because I feel obviously he was involved in the goal. He took the fight to them. We all took the fight to them, people, but I feel he was one of the flag bearers of sorts. So I'm going to give Kolasinac a 10. It's one of them games where I'm being very lenient because I feel everybody was quality. I'm going to give the three men in midfield 10s as well. I'm going to give Mesut Ozil a 10. Did his thing today. Lucas Torreira and Granit Xhaka were getting to the point where we don't even need to describe what they're on. So they potentially could get 9s, but I'm going to give them 10s, people. Our front men, I give Lacazette 8. Ran out of steam in the second half, but a better performance from him. I think he had a good game. Obviously, couple times there was a couple of stray passes, and maybe a fully confident Lacazette scoring goals when the groove of things makes more of a chance or guesses things a bit more. But I think it was a much more improvement from Lacazette than against Chelsea. I think Lacazette did his thing for the cause. He did what he could up front. He put it. I don't question Lacazette's commitment levels. He did his thing. So I'm going to give him an 8. Aubameyang, I'm going to give her a 9. In fact, I'm going to give it, I'm torn between an 8 and a 9 because I feel he was better against Chelsea, really. Not that it was anything, because he was quality today. He was obviously involved in the goal. So I'm potentially going to give him a 9. He worked hard again. Do you know what? Lacazette and Aubameyang 9s. Pepe a 9 as well, because I feel all of them deserve 9s because they were good, but I just feel the midfielders and David Luiz and Sokratis and Kolasinac for his time, they was on a different sort of level, but it was a committed performance from everybody, really. Pepe gets obviously a 9, like I said. Nice to see he scored in a big game. Obviously he's not been starting. A lot's been made of his price tag and obviously his form. Still a lot of work to be done. There was a couple of times I wanted him to take on shore a bit more, maybe a more gassed, a more galvanised, a more confident Pepe smells blood and goes at him. But I think he had a good game today, and these are the games where the team has to play well, but you're obviously looking at these sort of individuals to make the difference. And he got us off to a good start, and obviously his goal played a decisive role, and he did well until his substitution came. So hopefully that does a lot for Pepe's confidence. But man to a man, I can't ask for more. Can't ask for more from the manager in the confidence he installed in the team, the tactics and the implementation of the tactics. Forget all of that and just looking at fan manager players relationships at base level. He gets it. He knows the fans. I want to say the fans are prepared to lose, but we want to see some fight, some commitment, some going down fighting. Like if we lost today, similar to Chelsea, it would have been bitter pills to swallow, but it's a thing where we lost to the better men and we went down fighting. It wouldn't have been a cheap sort of result. And for me, I want this, it's 4 games in, but I want this to become the minimum from these players. Like, I want them to get to a level where they're not praised for this. For now, feel good, we all feel good, but what I'm saying is everything we see today is this against Brighton, it's this against Everton away, it's this in them cold nights in Europa League, in whatever. This is the minimum. Running, fear of letting down the team, yourself and your teammates, everything positive that I saw today, it needs to become the minimum. It's so far so good, in it. Critique and praise where fair and where due and fairly, and I think the team, the manager and everybody connected did their role today, people, really and truly. In relation to the substitutes, Saka came on and Saka did alright. I'll give him a 6, 7. I'll give him a 6 because he weren't really on the pitch long enough to get anything more than that. Give him a 6. I don't really feel Matteo Guendouzi and who else came on as well? Someone else came on. Reece Nelson really deserved ratings because they didn't really have long enough or really affect the game of sorts. I will say I was a bit disappointed to a degree in Nelson because I feel he was a bit sloppy. I feel he needs to sort his boots out. He kept falling on the floor. He could have had a goal for himself as well. Decision making was a bit poor today from when he came on, but games like this, it's difficult to come off the bench and really make a difference and get into the groove of things, but it is what it is, man. I feel it was a good game today. Hopefully we can apply that in our next game in the Premier League. I believe before that we're playing Leeds United in the FA Cup either this weekend or it could be on the Monday. I'm not too sure of the specific dates. But on that note, people, it's been a pleasure. DG.